shadows over Earth. The stars had always been humanity's promise. For centuries, people had looked to the skies, dreaming of new worlds, new colonies, and endless possibilities. Earth, the cradle of life, had grown comfortable under its blue sky. Cities sparkled, technology flourished, and humans believed themselves untouchable. But that illusion was about to shatter. High above Earth, in orbit around Luna City, Admiral Kalen Vera stood on the bridge of the Aegis Valor, the flagship of Earth's defense coalition. His eyes were fixed on the massive holographic display in front of him. It wasn't the usual fleet movements or asteroid reports that held his attention. It was something far more terrifying. Hundreds of ships, moving faster than any human vessel, were approaching the Sol system. Black as night, silent as death, they cut through space with impossible precision. "They're coming," Kalen said quietly, though his voice carried across the bridge. "The Black Armada. It's real." Around him, officers exchanged uneasy glances. The name alone carried legends, whispers of a fleet so powerful it had destroyed entire star systems, leaving nothing behind. Humanity had heard rumors for decades, tales dismissed as myth. Now it was undeniable. "Admiral," a voice called over the intercom. It was Lyra Tane, chief strategist of the Defense Coalition. Her tone was calm but urgent. "Sensors confirm. They're heading straight for Earth. Estimated arrival, 2 weeks, maybe less." Kalen clenched his fists. 2 weeks. That was all they had to prepare, to rally fleets, to warn colonies scattered across the stars. 2 weeks to face extinction. He turned to the assembled commanders. "We can't run. We can't hide. We fight. We defend our home, our people. Every ship, every soldier, every weapon we have must be ready." Outside the viewport, the stars seemed to tremble. The Black Armada advanced, a river of darkness swallowing light. It wasn't just a fleet. It was a wave, a storm, a force of annihilation moving with terrifying intelligence. Kalen's mind raced. The Defense Council would meet soon, but what could they plan that would matter against such power? Every option seemed hopeless, every strategy fragile. And yet, hope had to exist. Humanity had survived wars, natural disasters, even their own mistakes. Could they survive this? "Admiral," Lyra continued, "we've detected signals, distress calls from colonies in the outer rim, systems we've barely begun to settle. They've already fallen. There's nothing left." The images appeared on the screens. Whole planets reduced to blackened shells, their cities vaporized. Starports shattered into debris. And through it all, the fleet moved on, silent and unstoppable. Kalen swallowed hard. "Then we have no choice. We intercept, we slow them, and we buy time. For Earth, for everyone." The officers nodded, faces pale but determined. Kalen knew they understood the stakes. Humanity had always fought against impossible odds, and now, once again, the impossible stood before them. The council chamber aboard the Aegis Valor was tense when Kalen addressed Earth's leaders. Holographic projections of the Black Armada spun above the table, each ship a dagger pointed toward Earth. The room was silent, the weight of the moment pressing down on everyone. "People of Earth," Kalen said, his voice steady despite the fear gnawing at his chest. "We are facing an enemy unlike any before. They are not negotiating. They are not bargaining. They are coming to erase us. But we will not vanish quietly. We will stand. We will fight. And we will show them that humanity is not so easily destroyed." A murmur of agreement ran through the room, but the fear remained. It was one thing to believe in courage, another to confront total annihilation. As plans were made to mobilize fleets, evacuate civilians, and strengthen defenses, Kalen allowed himself a brief moment of reflection. He thought of his homeworld, the cities of Earth, the people he had sworn to protect. He thought of the children who would grow up in a galaxy that might no longer exist. Then the comm crackled, a strange, almost otherworldly signal. Not a warning, not a distress call, something different. Faint, fragmented, yet unmistakably intelligent. Lyra's brow furrowed as she studied it. "It's old," Signals like this haven't been seen in centuries. Ilias Korin, a linguist and code expert, stepped forward. I can try to decipher it, he said. His usual calm was replaced by a mixture of excitement and unease. But I don't know what we'll find. Kalen nodded. Do it. Whatever it is, we need every advantage we can get. Outside, the Black Armada continued its relentless approach. Moon bases were being reinforced, orbital cannons prepped, fleets mobilized. Humanity had prepared for wars, for civil strife, even for alien contact, but this was something else. This was extinction. The hours passed slowly, the tension building like a storm ready to break. And then Ilias spoke. His voice trembled slightly, though he tried to hide it. It's a warning, he said, from a civilization that no longer exists. They faced the same fleet and failed. They are trying to tell us what to expect. A hush fell over the bridge. The words sank in. Humanity was not just facing a fleet. They were facing history repeating itself, a cosmic predator that devoured worlds without mercy. Kalen's eyes hardened. He looked at the stars, at the dark shapes moving closer every second. Fear tried to creep in, but he pushed it back. Humanity had survived floods, fires, plagues, wars, and they would survive this. The first human fleet jumped into position, weapons ready, shields up. The Black Armada was still days away, but the first clash would define everything. And then, from the depths of space, the strange signal pulsed again. This time, it carried a single word in a language no human should understand. A warning or a promise. Kalen swallowed, his hand tightening on the console. We are ready, he said. Whatever comes, Earth will not fall quietly. Above the planet, the stars shone coldly. The shadows were coming, and humanity had only one choice: to rise against them or die in silence. The lost signal. The mysterious ship near Neptune floated silently, its hull battered and blackened by time. No lights, no movement. Yet its presence was undeniable. Admiral Kalen Vera stared at the monitor aboard the Aegis Valor, his jaw tight. Something about that drifting vessel set his instincts on edge. Lyra, Kalen said, tapping the comm. Who sent this signal? And why now? Lyra Tane's face appeared, her brow furrowed. We don't know, Admiral. The message is fragmented, encrypted in a code older than human spaceflight. Whoever sent it didn't expect anyone to understand it. On the bridge, a tall, lean man with a sharp gaze stepped forward. Ilias Korin, the linguist and cryptographer, had already begun scanning the signal. His fingers flew over the holographic keyboard as glowing symbols swirled before him. This is remarkable, Ilias muttered. The code is ancient, more than 300 years old, maybe older. Whoever sent this, they were trying to leave a warning, but it's buried under layers of complexity. Kalen's voice was steady, but urgency colored his words. Decipher it. We have no time to waste. Ilias nodded, eyes glued to the holographic patterns. Hours passed, but he didn't move, barely blinking. The bridge buzzed with tension. Outside, Neptune's rings glimmered faintly, reflecting the distant light of the sun. But in the darkness, the Black Armada was still moving, still coming closer. Finally, Ilias straightened, his expression grim. It's a warning, and worse, it's a map. A map? Kalen asked. Ilias pointed at the holographic display. Yes, coordinates to something hidden. Something the civilization that sent this believed could stop the Armada, if anyone survived long enough to use it. Lyra leaned forward, her voice tight. Where does it lead? Ilias hesitated. Mars. Deep beneath the surface. There's an ancient system, a weapon, maybe. Something powerful. The message warns that it's dangerous, but it's humanity's only chance. Kalen's mind raced. Mars. A hostile world by today's standards. A planet long colonized but never fully explored underground. If what the message claimed was real, it could be the key to survival or it could be a trap. We have no choice, Kalen said finally. We go to Mars. We find this, whatever it is. The Aegis Valor changed course immediately. Fleets shifted, follow orders echoing across the void. Humanity's hope rested on a planet coated in red dust and secrets buried for centuries. As the fleet sped toward Mars, tension grew. Communication channels were alive with speculation, fear, and doubt. Civilians evacuated orbiting stations. Soldiers prepared weapons. Scientists ran calculations, predicting outcomes that no one wanted to believe. Then a calm alert. Another fragment of the signal, sharper this time. They are closer than you think. And they watch. Kalen frowned. They? Ilias examined the new transmission. It's referring to the Armada. It's already sending scouts ahead of the main fleet. They are intelligent, observing, learning, preparing for us. The realization hit the bridge like a hammer. Humanity had only weeks to prepare, and even the warning from the ancient civilization might not be enough. Mars loomed ahead. Its red desert stretched endlessly, storms swirling in slow, deadly dances. Kalen directed the fleet to the coordinates. There, hidden beneath the surface, was a massive underground complex, ancient but intact. Its walls shimmered faintly with technology that human eyes had never seen. Scanning for life signs, Lyra said. There's nothing, but energy readings are off the charts. Whatever is down there is still functional. Kalen's heart pounded. Then we proceed carefully. We need a team to enter and activate whatever is inside. Ilias, you'll lead with me. Lyra, coordinate the fleet above. If the Armada detects us, we buy time no matter the cost. Descending into the underground complex, Kalen and Ilias moved cautiously. The walls hummed with energy, glowing symbols running in lines that shifted like living circuits. Every step echoed in the vast corridors, magnifying the tension. Ilias paused at a control panel covered in alien inscriptions. This language is similar to the signal but more advanced. The system itself is trying to communicate. I think it can guide us. Suddenly, the ground trembled. Sensors blared warnings. A squad of human scouts above reported movement. The Black Armada had detected something. They were sending a strike team. Kalen's hand went to his sidearm. They found us faster than we thought. Activate the defenses. We can't let them breach the surface. Ilias's fingers danced across the panel. The system came alive, projecting holographic schematics of Mars, showing hidden tunnels, energy nodes, and unknown weapon placements. A map of power waiting to be used. As Kalen studied it, a horrifying thought struck him. If the Armada reaches this system first, it will turn their entire fleet against us. Mars could become humanity's tomb. But hope glimmered. With the system awake, they had a chance, if they could learn to control it in time. Lyra's voice crackled over the comm, Admiral. The Armada scouts are dropping toward the surface. They're faster than anything we've ever seen. Kalen nodded grimly. Prepare the fleet. Hold the line. And Ilias, hurry with that code. Humanity's future depends on it. As they worked, the underground complex pulsed, as if alive, guiding them, warning them, challenging them. It was no longer just a tool. It was a partner, a weapon, and a mystery. Then, the signal finally completed its message. Words appeared in the hologram. Clear now. The Black Armada has no mercy. Only those who awaken the old power will survive. Choose wisely, or be forgotten. Kalen's jaw tightened. Humanity had been given a chance. But with every moment, the Black Armada drew closer, and the stakes became deadly clear. Mars' hidden weapon. Mars was silent, its red deserts stretching endlessly under the cold gaze of the sun. From orbit, the planet looked peaceful, almost lifeless. But beneath its surface, a storm of energy waited, ancient, powerful, and long forgotten. Admiral Kalen Vera, linguist Ilias Korin, and strategist Lyra Tane descended in a reinforced drop pod, cutting through the thin Martian atmosphere. The underground coordinates from the lost signal glowed faintly in their navigation systems. This place? It's massive, Kalen muttered as the pod touched down. He stepped out into a tunnel carved into the bedrock, the walls glowing with alien symbols that pulsed like a heartbeat. I've seen advanced technology, but nothing like this. Ilias ran his fingers over the strange symbols. The civilization that built this, they were far beyond anything we know. And the signal said it's a weapon. But it's more than that. It's a system, maybe even a defense network capable of fighting the Armada on its own. Lyra's eyes scanned the area. We need to be careful. If it's a weapon, it could be dangerous. And if the Armada finds us, we won't get a second chance. The three of them advanced deeper. The walls hummed with energy, the symbols glowing brighter with every step. The air was dry but thick with anticipation, as if the planet itself was holding its breath. Suddenly, the ground shook. Sensors aboard the drop pod reported disturbances in the tunnels. Kalen drew his sidearm instinctively. Stay alert. They're here. Outside, orbiting drones detected movement. The Black Armada scouts were already close, analyzing every signal, every pulse of energy from the surface. Time was running out. Ilias paused before a massive door etched with swirling alien designs. This is it, he whispered. The central chamber. If the signal is correct, everything we need is behind this. Kalen examined the door. Then we open it, carefully. One wrong move, and it could destroy us all. With a deep breath, Ilias touched the symbols, his hands tracing the patterns like a pianist playing a long-forgotten song. The door vibrated and then slowly, with a low hum, it opened. Inside was a chamber larger than any human city hall, filled with machinery that glowed with a strange blue light. Massive conduits ran across the floor, walls, and ceiling, pulsing with power. In the center stood a device that looked alive, its surface rippling like liquid metal. Lyra stepped forward, awe in her voice. It's beautiful and terrifying. Ilias approached the console beside the central device. The system is partially active. It's waiting for commands. I think it wants to be used. Kalen frowned. Used? How? We don't even know what it can do. Ilias studied the alien inscriptions. It's a weapon, yes, but also a shield, a defense network. It can manipulate energy, launch attacks, even coordinate fleets. If we sync it with our ships, we might have a chance against the Armada. Before they could discuss further, the ground trembled violently. From the shadows of the chamber, a figure emerged. Towering, sleek, with eyes that glowed like liquid starlight, an Erythrian sentinel. Kalen instinctively raised his weapon, but the sentinel raised a hand. Its voice was deep, resonant, echoing through the chamber. Humans, you are not ready for the power you seek. Ilias stepped forward cautiously. We have no choice. The Armada is coming. We need every advantage. Please help us. The sentinel studied them, its gaze piercing. Then it moved to the central device, its hands hovering over the energy conduits. The chamber hummed louder, lights pulsing faster. It was alive, responsive, awakening at last. Lyra whispered, "It's helping us." "Yes," the sentinel said, "but only partially. You must learn to command it. If misused, it will destroy everything in this chamber, and possibly the planet." Kalen's mind raced. The risk was enormous, but humanity had no other choice. "Then we learn," he said firmly. "Teach us." The sentinel's hands moved across the conduits, and holographic instructions appeared, showing the human team how to interface with the system. Ilias took control, fingers flying over the alien interface, translating symbols into commands. Slowly, the machinery synchronized with the human technology aboard the Aegis Valor. Outside, the fleet detected the first Black Armada ships approaching Mars orbit. Scouts, small and fast, analyzed the planet looking for weak points. Humanity's window was closing. Kalen turned to Lyra. "Get the fleet ready. We buy time while Ilias finishes syncing the system." Minutes passed like hours. The chamber pulsed with energy, the sentinel guiding them with precision. At last, the system roared to life, sending a massive energy wave into orbit. Human sensors detected it, shields, weapons, coordination. The system had accepted them. Kalen exhaled. "It's working." But then, a massive rumble shook the tunnels. The sentinel's eyes widened. "The Armada has found you, faster than anticipated." Sensors detected a colossal fleet warping toward Mars' surface. This was no longer a scouting party. The Black Armada had detected the planet's hidden power, and they were coming to destroy it before humanity could use it. Kalen clenched his fists. Then we fight. Here. Now. Earth cannot wait. The Sentinel stepped forward. We will help, but only if you follow my guidance. Fail and all is lost. Ilias's eyes met Kalen's. We can do this. The system, the Sentinel. It's our chance. The Armada doesn't expect it. They won't see us coming. Kalen nodded. Then let's make them regret underestimating humanity. Above Mars, the first Black Armada ships entered orbit, dark shapes blotting out the stars. Inside the chamber, the Sentinel activated defensive arrays. Energy shields erupted across the planet's surface. Automated weapon systems powered up, their alien designs firing with precision humans could hardly comprehend. Kalen, Lyra, and Ilias prepared to coordinate humanity's first counterattack. Mars, once a quiet red planet, had become the stage for a battle that would decide the fate of Earth and the human race. The Sentinel awakens. Deep beneath the surface of Mars, the chamber thrummed with energy. The ancient Erythrian system, partially awakened by Ilias Korin, glowed with a light that was almost alive. Holographic patterns swirled across the walls, projecting maps of the planet, orbital defenses, and unknown weapon networks. Admiral Kalen Vera stepped cautiously into the central room, his eyes scanning the massive device at its core. It's incredible, he whispered, though the weight of responsibility pressed on his shoulders. But can it really help us? A deep hum filled the chamber. The Erythrian Sentinel emerged from the shadows, its towering form sleek, metallic, and alien, yet somehow elegant. Eyes like liquid starlight scanned the humans. You are here, it said, its voice echoing in the vast chamber. You seek power, but do you understand the cost? Kalen straightened. We have no choice. The Black Armada is coming, and Earth cannot survive alone. We need your help. The Sentinel studied them, then stepped closer to the central device. Its hands moved over the glowing conduits, and the system responded instantly, pulsing with life. Energy rippled through the chamber, sending vibrations across the floor. Ilias's fingers flew over the alien console, following the Sentinel's subtle guidance. It's alive, he said, eyes wide. This system isn't just a weapon. It's intelligent. It's waiting for us to understand it. Lyra Tane's voice trembled slightly, though she tried to stay calm. Then we learn fast. The Armada won't wait for us to figure this out. The Sentinel nodded, its glowing eyes reflecting the pulsing energy around them. Humans, the system can amplify your fleet, control energy, and defend your planets. But misuse it, and Mars itself could be destroyed. Kalen clenched his fists. Then guide us. Tell us what to do. The Sentinel extended a hand toward the humans. Touch the interface. Synchronize your minds with the system. Only then can it respond fully. Ilias hesitated, then followed the Sentinel's instructions. As his hands connected with the glowing controls, holographic symbols shifted, forming sequences of light that seemed to flow into his mind. Knowledge, understanding, and raw power flooded his consciousness. Kalen observed in awe. It's teaching us, showing us how to fight. Lyra studied the walls. Look at the energy projections, they're forming orbital maps. It's showing us the Armada's possible routes, their weak points. We can use this. But the Sentinel's voice grew stern. Time is short. The Armada is already aware of your presence. They send scouts ahead. Your actions will determine if humanity survives the next attack. Kalen turned toward the main console. Then we synchronize with the fleet. Full coordination. Every ship, every weapon, every shield, we link them to the system. Ilias's fingers flew faster. Holographic interfaces connected human fleets with the Erythrian energy flows. Ships responded instantly, glowing faintly as they aligned with the system's power. It was a unity humanity had never known. Outside, orbiting Mars, the first Black Armada scouts detected unusual energy spikes. Confused, they adjusted their approach, unaware that every human vessel now had access to the system's advanced technology. "Admiral," Lyra said urgently, "the first wave is approaching. They'll hit Mars' surface in minutes." Kalen nodded. "Then we fight, but carefully. Let the system guide us." The chamber vibrated as energy surged from the core device. Shields erupted across the planet's surface, forming invisible barriers that repelled the Armada's first strike. Automated weapons powered by the Erythrian technology fired with precision, cutting down enemy ships in seconds. Ilias shouted, "It's working! The system's amplifying our fleet's response." "They won't expect this." Kalen's eyes narrowed. "Good, but don't let it control us. We decide when and where to strike." The Sentinels stepped forward. "Humans, there is one more warning. The Black Armada is not entirely alien. Within their ranks, there is one who once walked among your people. Betrayal may come from within." Kalen's stomach tightened. He had felt this threat before, but hearing it confirmed by the Sentinel made it real. Every action now required not just courage, but absolute vigilance. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. Sensors flared, indicating movement deep within the tunnels. Something else had awakened, something massive and ancient. The Sentinel's glowing eyes flickered. "It is coming," it said. "Prepare yourselves. Only by unity, human and Erythrian, can you survive what approaches." Kalen clenched his jaw. "Then we do it. We survive. Whatever it takes." Ilias's hands moved faster, sinking more ships to the system. Lyra coordinated the orbital defenses, directing human energy and Erythrian power to every key position. Mars became alive with energy, glowing with hope, defiance, and readiness. From the depths of the tunnels, a shadow stirred. Massive, alien, and silent, it moved toward the chamber. It was no scout. It was something older, something that predated even the Armada. Humanity's first real challenge was not just the enemy above. They now faced a guardian whose intentions were unknown. Kalen's eyes narrowed. "Whatever it is, we face it. Together." The Sentinel's voice resonated, calm yet commanding. "Then awaken fully. Humanity will either rise or be forgotten." Betrayal among the stars. The battle for Mars had pushed humanity to its limits. The combined power of the Erythrian Sentinel and the ancient defense system had slowed the Black Armada, but the fight was far from over. Ships streaked across the Martian sky, lasers cutting through darkness, and explosions lit the red deserts like storms of fire. Admiral Kalen Vera watched from the bridge of the Aegis Valor, his knuckles white as he gripped the console. "Hold formation," he barked. "Every shot counts. Every second matters." Lyra Tane, coordinating the fleet from orbit, shouted over the comm, "They're regrouping. Some of the Armada scouts are breaking off, heading straight for Earth. If we don't stop them, our home is in danger." Kalen's eyes narrowed. Earth, battered but unbroken, relied on every decision he made now. The weight of billions of lives pressed down on him. Then, a shock came over the comms. A familiar voice, one that had once been trusted, crackled through. Captain Renya Voss, a decorated hero and longtime ally, spoke with calm authority. "Kalen, it's time to surrender. Resistance is pointless. Humanity cannot win. Join us, and we can survive together under the Armada's rule." Kalen froze. Renya? Betrayal from someone so close, someone who had fought beside them in countless battles. It felt impossible. "Renya, what are you saying?" he asked, his voice tight with disbelief. "You don't understand," she replied. "The Armada isn't just a threat. They're the future. Unity, peace, survival, you can't stop them. But you can join them. Choose wisely, Kalen. Your fleets, your people, they can live if you obey." Lyra slammed her hand on the console. "She can't be serious. Renya knows what we're capable of. She's helping them." Kalen's jaw hardened. "Then she's our enemy, and I don't care what the cost is. We fight." Below Mars, Ilias Korin worked frantically at the control panel, interfacing the ancient Erythrian system with human ships. "Admiral, if we can sink the fleets fully, we can amplify our defenses." But it's risky, one wrong command, and the system could fry our ships instead. Kalen nodded. Do it. We don't have another choice. Humanity doesn't surrender. The system hummed louder, lights flickering across the chamber. The Erythrian Sentinel moved with precision, coordinating energy flows and defensive shields. The combined might of human and alien technology surged into orbit, a force unlike anything the Armada had seen before. But Renya Vos was already in motion. Hidden fleets, cloaked and undetectable, moved behind the main lines, ready to strike from within. The betrayal cut deep, forcing Kalen to split his attention between the Armada above and the traitor within. Lyra's voice was sharp. They've breached the outer shields. Renya's ships are inside our perimeter. We're under attack from both sides. Kalen's mind raced. Every strategy he had relied on now required improvisation. He coordinated with the Sentinel and Ilias, launching countermeasures while trying to isolate the traitor fleet. Ilias shouted over the alarms. I can redirect the system's energy to block them temporarily, but it will drain the central core. If we push too hard, Mars itself could destabilize. Kalen made a decision. Do it. We hold them off long enough to finish sinking the fleet. Humanity doesn't negotiate with betrayal. Energy surged through the ancient network, creating massive shields around key positions on Mars. The traitor fleet slammed against the barrier, weapons sparking uselessly. The Armada, momentarily confused by the sudden surge of power, faltered in their advance. In the chaos, Kalen's voice cut through the calm. All captains, fall back to the synchronization points. We combine with the system now. Ships responded instantly, weaving through energy beams, docking, and connecting with the Martian system. Lasers fired, engines roared, and Mars itself seemed to pulse with newfound strength. Renya's voice returned, calm and cold. You cannot stop progress, Kalen. The Armada will not fail. You are only delaying the inevitable. Kalen clenched his teeth. We're not delaying. We're fighting. And we won't let you destroy what we've built. The Sentinel activated a new sequence, sending a pulse of energy into the combined fleet. Ships glowed as systems aligned, weapons amplified, shields strengthened. It was no longer just human technology. It was a human Erythrian hybrid force capable of feats that defied imagination. Ilias's hands flew over the controls. It's working. The fleet. It's synchronized. The Armada won't know what hit them. From orbit, the Black Armada faltered. Their tactics, honed over centuries of conquest, were ineffective against the new combined force. Explosions rocked the void as the synchronized fleet struck with precision, repelling the first wave. But Kalen knew the fight was far from over. Renya Vos, still inside the perimeter, had not yet revealed her full plan. And the Armada's main forces were still approaching, larger and deadlier than anything humanity had faced before. Lyra's voice, strained but determined, came over the calm Admiral. We need a decisive strike. If we don't, the Armada will regroup and hit Earth next. We can't just hold them, we have to push them back now. Kalen looked at the glowing chamber, the Sentinel beside him, and the human fleet coming online. Then we push forward. No hesitation. For Earth. For humanity. For everyone who believes we can survive. As Mars became a battlefield of light and shadow, Kalen felt a surge of determination. Betrayal had cut deep, but it had not broken them. Humanity's courage, ingenuity, and unity were their greatest weapons, and they would use them to stand against the darkness. The battle for humanity. The void of space erupted in chaos. The combined human Erythrian fleet surged through Mars' orbit, energy shields glowing, weapons firing in perfect synchronization. Every vessel, every fighter, every cannon pulsed with the ancient system's power. Humanity was no longer fighting alone. Admiral Kalen Vera stood on the bridge of the Aegis Valor, eyes locked on the holographic display of the Black Armada. Ships larger than cities cut through the darkness like knives, their black hulls reflecting no light. The Armada was vast, terrifying, and relentless, but humanity had a weapon they could not have imagined even weeks before. Lyra, status report. Kalen barked. We're holding them off, Lyra Tane replied, her voice tense. Shields are stable, weapons are synchronized, but the Armada's main fleet is approaching fast. They're adapting to our defenses. Kalen's jaw tightened. Then we make them adapt faster. Prepare the stellar forge sequence. Ilias, are we ready? Ilias Corrin's hands flew across the alien console. Almost. Just a few more calculations. If we trigger it now, it will amplify our fleet's energy output tenfold. But if mistimed, it could destroy Mars. Kalen nodded. Do it. We don't have another option. Above Mars, the first wave of Armada ships collided with the synchronized human fleet. Energy beams lit the void, explosions rippling through the darkness. The human vessels moved like one organism, shields glowing, weapons striking with deadly precision. But the Armada was not easy to defeat. Its flagship, Oblivion's Hand, unleashed a pulse that shattered several human ships instantly. The void itself seemed to bend around its power. Lyra's voice was strained. They're too strong. Their flagship? It's devastating. Kalen clenched his fists. Then we hit harder. Trigger the stellar forge. Ilias pressed the final command. A blinding wave of energy shot from the stellar forge, connecting with every fleet vessel. Lasers amplified, shields reinforced, and engines surged. The human Erythrian force became a single, unstoppable weapon. Oblivion's Hand reeled from the attack, its systems overloaded. Smaller Armada ships tried to regroup, but every move was anticipated. Humanity's synchronized fleet struck with speed, precision, and intelligence the Armada could not counter. But the battle was not just in space. On Mars, automated defenses fired relentlessly, cutting down incoming dropships. The ground shook with every impact, but the planet held. The Erythrian Sentinel coordinated human soldiers with machine precision, creating a perfect defense grid. Kalen's eyes scanned the battlefield. Push forward. Focus on the flagship. The fleet surged, energy beams striking Oblivion's Hand again and again. The massive ship shuddered, sparks flying across its hull. For the first time, the Armada hesitated. Then, a warning flashed on Kalen's console. Hidden within the flagship, a cloaked fleet of stealth ships, human-looking, familiar, was moving to flank them. Renya Voss, Kalen whispered, recognition striking him like a hammer. She's here. She betrayed us. Lyra's voice was furious. We've got to stop her before she reaches the core of our fleet. Kalen gritted his teeth. Ilias, focus all energy on the main fleet. Lyra, intercept the stealth ships. I'll handle the flagship. The synchronized fleet moved like clockwork. Lyra's forces intercepted Renya's ships, energy beams tearing through their cloaking. Ilias's calculations amplified the main fleet's attack power. And Kalen, at the helm of the Aegis Valor, led a daring strike directly at Oblivion's Hand. The flagship groaned under the assault. Shields failed, weapons erupted, and the massive vessel began to crumble. The Black Armada, the once feared conqueror, faltered under humanity's combined might. Lyra shouted over the comms, "Admiral, the Armada is retreating." Kalen allowed himself a moment to breathe, watching as the remaining ships fled into the void. Humanity had survived the impossible, and for the first time in weeks, hope returned. But victory came at a cost. Mars was scarred, ships destroyed, and countless lives lost. The Black Armada might be broken, but remnants would return. And somewhere in the void, a new threat waited, older, larger, more dangerous than anything humanity had faced. Kalen turned to the Sentinel. "We did it, but this isn't the end, is it?" The Sentinel's eyes shimmered. "No, this was only a test. True survival requires more than courage. You must learn to wield your power wisely and prepare for what lies beyond the stars." Ilias, exhausted but exhilarated, sank into a chair. "We survived. Against all odds. Against an enemy no one thought we could face." Kalen's gaze swept over Mars, then the fleet in orbit. Survival is just the beginning. Humanity has proven it can fight, can unite, can rise. But the galaxy is watching now. And whatever comes next will know that humans do not vanish quietly. Above Mars, the void was silent once more. Stars sparkled coldly, and distant planets spun in their endless orbits. Humanity had fought and won for now. But Kalen knew this victory was only the first chapter. The Black Armada was weakened, but somewhere out there, something far worse was stirring. And humanity would be ready. Humanity rises. The void beyond Saturn was dark and silent, but the calm was deceptive. Humanity had survived the Black Armada's initial assault. Mars had become a fortress, and Earth remained intact. But a new shadow loomed, larger than any threat they had ever faced. Admiral Kalen Vera stood on the bridge of the Aegis Valor, his eyes fixed on the enormous vessel slowly emerging from the darkness. It was the Obsidian Leviathan, a ship so massive it seemed to swallow the stars themselves. Its hull radiated energy unlike anything Kalen had ever seen, and the void trembled under its approach. "Status report," Kalen barked. Lyra Tane's voice came over the comms, tight and tense. "The Leviathan is unlike any fleet we've encountered. Shields are impenetrable, energy readings off the charts. Its weapons, they make Oblivion's hand look like nothing." Ilias Korin leaned over the console, eyes scanning the alien systems. "We've synchronized the Stellar Forge, the Erythrian network, everything. But even combined, the Leviathan's power is unimaginable. We'll need every ounce of strategy and courage we have." Kalen's gaze hardened. "Then we fight. Humanity doesn't back down. Not now. Not ever." Across the solar system, fleets from Earth, Mars, and allied colonies took positions. Energy flares from the Erythrian system lit the void like a network of stars. Ships were synchronized, weapons charged, shields glowing. Humanity had turned fear into a weapon. The Obsidian Leviathan moved closer. Its massive form blocked light from distant stars. Then, with a pulse that shook the sensors of every ship in the fleet, it fired a beam that obliterated the first line of human interceptors. "Brace for impact," Lyra shouted. Energy shields flared, absorbing some of the damage, but explosions rocked the fleet. Ships tumbled, alarms blaring. Humanity was under attack like never before. Kalen gritted his teeth. "Focus fire on the Leviathan's hull. Target weak points detected by the system." Ilias adjusted the Stellar Forge, amplifying every fleet weapon. Lasers streaked through the void, striking the Leviathan with devastating power. Sparks of energy exploded across its hull, but it did not slow. The ship was enormous, terrifying, and relentless. On Mars, the Erythrian Sentinel moved through the control network, coordinating planetary defenses. Automated weapons fired with perfect precision, striking the Leviathan's smaller drones and interceptors, slowing their advance. But the main ship still pressed forward, a nightmare larger than any human imagination. Kalen took a deep breath. "We do what we must. Prepare the final maneuver. Ilias, coordinate the Stellar Forge. Lyra, focus the fleet on support and defense. Mars will be our anchor. Earth must survive." Ilias's hands flew over the controls. The Stellar Forge pulsed, energy building to a crescendo. The entire synchronized fleet glowed as if it were a single organism, channels of power linking ships, shields, and weapons into one. "Now, Kalen," Ilias shouted. The fleet surged forward, beams of energy striking the Obsidian Leviathan. Its shields flared and shimmered, then began to crack. Explosions ripped across its surface, massive fissures appearing where light and energy met metal. But the Leviathan was not defeated. Its counterattack unleashed gravitational waves that tore through space, distorting ships' trajectories. Human vessels twisted and buckled under the strain. Kalen clenched his jaw. "We hold formation. Do not break." Lyra's voice was steady. "Reinforce shields, focus fire. The system is stabilizing the fleet. We can do this." Slowly, carefully, the synchronized force of human and Erythrian power pushed forward. Beams struck again and again until finally, a massive explosion tore across the Leviathan's hull. Its energy core, vulnerable for the first time, glowed ominously. Kalen gave the order. "Focus all energy on the core." Humanity fights as one. A blinding column of light shot from the stellar forge, piercing the Leviathan's heart. Energy pulsed, and for a moment, time seemed to slow. The massive vessel shuddered, cracks spreading across its hull. Then, with a final, deafening roar, the obsidian Leviathan exploded, fragments scattering into the void. Silence fell. Slowly, the fleets of humanity exhaled, their victories tentative but real. Earth, Mars, and the colonies had survived. The galaxy had witnessed something it had never seen before, humanity standing against annihilation and winning. Kalen sank into his chair, exhausted but triumphant. We did it. We actually did it. Lyra smiled, though her eyes were still wary. It's not over. There will always be others. But we've proven something today. Humanity can fight. Humanity can survive. And humanity can rise. Ilias leaned back, relief flooding him. We've tapped into something incredible, the system, the stellar forge, our fleets working together. This is just the beginning. Humanity is stronger than we ever imagined. From Mars, the Sentinel's voice echoed across communications. Humans, you have proven worthy, not just of survival but of greatness. The galaxy will remember your courage. But remember this, power demands responsibility. You must remain vigilant. Kalen nodded. We will. Humanity will never be caught unprepared again. Across the solar system, people on Earth watched the distant explosions and the glowing fleets. Cheers erupted, tears were shed, and hope, once fragile, bloomed fiercely. Humanity had faced extinction and had survived, not because of technology alone, but because of courage, unity, and determination. And far beyond, where stars seemed to touch the edges of the universe, civilizations that had only whispered of humanity began to take notice. The humans of Earth had risen. They were not a species to be ignored. They were a force that refused to vanish quietly. Kalen gazed out into the void, the remnants of the Armada drifting in the distance. We've survived the impossible, but the galaxy is vast. There are more challenges out there, and we'll meet them, together. For the first time in centuries, humanity felt the truth of their power. United, brave, and relentless, they could survive anything, even the darkest threat the universe could send. And as the stars shone coldly above, a new chapter began. The rise of humans, the indomitable species that refused to be forgotten.